think about how much it helps build their self-esteem and self-confidence by having a job too. Like it teaches them, like you said, like the responsibility, time management, teaches them how to respect people other than your parents, you know, maybe seeing what it's like to, like I said, like if they're making $15 an hour, what it's like to take home a paycheck of only like $40
and budget that money
and budget, saying I have gas to pay for. And I've made both of my kids and I've told them both, like, yes, like, yeah, mom was going to be setting up a trust for you and doing all this stuff, but that doesn't mean I'm going to hand it to you. There's stipulations to that. I'm going to make sure you're working, you're doing what you're supposed to do, because I'm not going to just hand it to you. And like, that is where the entitlement factor comes in to a lot of our kids, is the entitlement. Like, oh, well, I don't have to work. I can do this. My dad will do it.
But is it not a learned behavior? What do I say? Why do people act the way they do? Because they're allowed to.
Oh, yeah.
They're allowed to.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Again, we keep pointing out the teens, and that's what I keep saying is like, but I go, but where's the coach? Where's the teacher? Where's the parent? Where's the this? Like literally one of my clients the other day, and she was so, you know, talking about her 12-year-old and such and such. And I go, whoa, stop. I go, who's in charge? But again, because it's like she was trying to, and you know, and I go, she was, oh my God. Like, because that's the thing. Parents are struggling too. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. It's like they're trying to navigate, and the kids are trying to navigate. And everybody's in this emotional state. And I go, okay, but where are we? What are we doing? Because first and foremost, our kids are supposed to be protected 1,000%, 1,000%. And that's not happening either. And I see it every day, especially in our school system. It is not happening. And that's what I'm saying. These kids are struggling.
Yeah. In so many different aspects. That's why I felt like today was such a big deal, because there's so many things going on in the school systems, you know, like it's a mess, and the kids are the one being affected. And these are the young, soon to be adults who are going to be running our country one day. It's like, that's scary to think that. And, you know, not saying that like, you know, oh, none of you teens today could, you know, run the country, because there are amazing kids out there.
I've seen it.
But it's kind of not fair to you either, because like we're failing you. Like our school system's failing you, and our being certain, you know, parents not healed are failing you. And that's another thing to think about too. As a parent, from what you've gone through in your own childhood and your own situations, have you healed? Have you grown? Have you held yourself accountable for choices that you've made? No? Okay, then that means you need to do work so that you can be a better parent to your child, and that you can show them a better example, you know, like, and I get it. Like I empathize with parents, you know, who've gone through divorce, and single moms and dads out there. I mean, there's so many single parents, you know, I was a single parent for a while too. And it's like, yeah, they're struggling, but like, again, at the end of the day, we are the ones responsible for our kids and our teenagers, and, you know, more than the school system. So the school system is already has their own set of problems. We can't necessarily control what goes on over there, but we can control what we show and what we show up for.
Absolutely.
In our houses with our kids.
Absolutely. And setting that foundation starts at home. We set the foundation. We set the tone.
Yep. And if you're a single parent out there too, one of the best things a psychologist ever told me, and he says, Nella, if your child has at least one stabilizing force in their life, so one parent that shows up every day that they can come to, that they can trust, that they could feel like, you know what, my mom or my dad is going to be there every single day for me, show up for me, then that is all that child needs to succeed.
Thank you, doctor.
And I will never forget that he told me that.
Yeah,
and just remember too, teens, this is only a short period of their life. Like, and if you're a teenager listening or you're a parent listening, teens is just a time period, a very like drop in the sand in what your life is really going to be about. So just think about like, as if you're coming from a parent's perspective, is that like, that's all temporary. But it's also influential. So how you're showing up for them now is going to help determine what kind of relationship you're going to have with your child. So if you have a really shitty relationship,
there was.
If you have a shitty relationship with your teenager,
Gets me every time. I get so tickled.
oh my god! If you have a shitty relationship, I'm shitty.
Like, say
Shitty.
it Say it
If
again.
you have a shitty relationship with your child or your teen for years and you're not changing anything about the situation, if you're not showing up differently, if you're not trying to get help and recognizing that you're a part of the problem, you can also be a part of the solution. And if you don't do that, then that's going to affect your relationship with them later on.